What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video on Aranea. Today we're going to be doing the Descendants Transcendence Tier 7. We're going to be doing both Crucibles, and we're going to be doing the Reckoning in this video. It's going to be all in one. We're going to be taking on the Crucible 1 first. And the team I have right now is Sid, Aranea, and Y'shtola. Y'shtola because she's a support goddess, Sid because he does that damage, and Aranea because I don't want the bosses to ever have a turn. We don't allow bosses to have turns in this channel, and we don't do that here. I'm gonna be spamming that Dragoon dive, you best believe me. Alright, so the idea is I'm pretty much just gonna brute force the entire thing because the orb is very easy to maintain because I have Sid, and he has a lot of HP dumps. Way too many HP dumps if you ask me. But yeah, my thoughts on all the three units. Y'shtola, I make fun of Y'shtola sometimes now because I have Garnet, and Y'shtola, as good as she is, she's basically just a worse version of Garnet. But as a support unit, she's still one of the best in the game, and she's still one of the best units in the game. But it's just unfortunate because there's not really a huge reason to use her anymore because of Garnet. That's why I'm using her on this tier, and I'm not using Garnet yet. I'm going to be saving Garnet for the later tiers. Maybe even for tier 10, because I've heard the tier 10 is absolute cancer. Everything bad about COVID-19, everything bad about the coronavirus, just bunch that up together and then you have Descendants Transcendence tier 10. That's basically what I'm getting off of. That's basically what I've gathered from everyone's descriptions of that tier. That's in like... what, 4 or 5 months, so I'm not gonna be too stressed about it now. I'm just gonna enjoy the game for what it is at the moment. We are plowing through this boss, man. I'm telling you, we not letting the boss get one goddamn turn, bro. We don't do that here, okay? We don't play fair, okay? We if I don't have to, I'm not using strategy. Why would I use strategy? That's an excess amount of brain power. I'd rather save it for other important matters in my life. But yeah, thoughts on the units I'm using. Aranea is actually pretty fun. Her utility is still fantastic. Like a delayer, no matter how old the unit is, it has a lot of uses still. So that's why I still use Aranea. And I quite, in fact, like her. The fact that she gets the re-break, return mechanic. I think that's really fun. Of course, she doesn't do really any damage, but I don't think people use Aranea for the damage, you know? That's why I have Sid on the team. Speaking of Sid, Sid is an absolute monster with Y'shtola. Y'shtola's effects are super amazing. Even Sid gets mostly max HP dumps, and given the fact that he does around 10 HP dumps every single attack. Yeah. Oop, I misclicked there. Yeah, no, he has a turn. No, that's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to have a turn. This BS. I meant to click his EX, but I'm talking too much. I'm a little chattery, as you can see. Well, the boss, to be fair, isn't really anything. That's why I feel comfortable chatting with you guys like this. Aranea, pretty fun unit. Y'shtola, also very fun unit. Now we gotta talk about Sid. Sid, of course, he doesn't have a BT or a BT+, so that's always gonna hinder him to some degree. But as a DPS unit himself, I think it's pretty fun. His follow-up attack is kind of weird. He does do follow-ups, but he only raises it up when he does his own attacks. It doesn't raise up every single turn by itself like Garnet. Granted, I'm not sure if that would be too broken of Sid if he had a mechanic like Garnet where it raises by itself. I don't really care if a unit is too broken. I mean, I use Garnet for God's sakes. So personally, it wouldn't really bother me. I imagine for people who want, you know, a more fun and equal experience of Aranea, they might have a few things to complain about. But then again, he doesn't have a BT. So, but overall, Sid is actually very fun. I was a little bit disappointed with him the first time around, but that's because I didn't really know how to use him properly. But now that I have a more concrete grasp of how to use Sid, he's fantastic. I think he's really great. Alright, so that's the first tier done. Crucible 1 done. Pretty easy. I mean, the bosses look absolutely amazing. I love the design. It's just a shame that they're not that hard. Right, next up. Crucible 2. We're going to be using twins, Alisaie, and Lilisette. I'm using twins because there's 3 enemies on the board, and whenever there's 3 enemies on the board, I am basically more than inclined to use twins. Also, just to take care of the orb, I have both Maria and Ace calls. I would brute force Ico this, but I don't know, man. Ico doesn't really work well with twins because twins needs to have that BT effect up, and if they die and Ico resets them, they're not going to have the BT effect anymore, so that's why I'm not using them together. I'd rather use Aiko in a more LD-esque team. Maybe in an all LD team, I could use Aiko. Matter of fact, Tifa just got her C90, so I feel like that would be a good team. Maybe I could do a Tifa, Kais, and Aiko team. That'd be actually really fun. I might try that out. But for the time being, we're going to be using Twins and Lilisette. Lilisette because her auras are actually pretty good. I find that when I've used her with Machina's damage was actually pretty good. Lilisette, I mean, I did end up hitting her LD. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, I did end up hitting her LD because I went back to that Garnet banner, but so I wanted to get my full usage out of Lilisette. Is she on the caliber of a BT support unit? Absolutely not, but I still think she's pretty decent on herself. And if you can see with the Maria LD effect, the orb is going a hella up. And I heavily appreciate that, and that's going to be going 2 times round. And the great thing with this compared to Ace's LD call is that they don't count down every turn. They count down only on their turns. So it has a lot more longevity to Ace. I got both because I didn't want to die, and I would rather be safe than sorry. And you can see the Twins doing damage. Jesus Christ. I feel like not enough people talk about Twins, man. I still think they're extremely viable in this meta. The fact that they do 1,000,000 damage each to all units, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know, man. People gotta put some respect on Twins. I can't handle the disrespect. On the matter of Twins, I've already given my 2-piece on Lilisette. I want to talk about Alisaie. Alisai's pretty fun. If she's a favorite and you really want her because you loved her in Final Fantasy XIV, she's not gonna disappoint. I think she's really great, but unfortunately, like all LD units, she doesn't have a BT, she doesn't have a BT effect, so she's not going to be as broken as some other attackers. Machina. I don't think that's a testament of Alisaie not being good. I think that's just a testament of Machina being absolutely god-busted broken. Alisaie as an LD attacker is still pretty fantastic. She's pretty much on the same level to me as Sid, but one bonus with Alisaie is that she has elemental damage and peril built into her kit, so that's always nice. I guess in that regard, she's pretty similar to Twins. They both have a bunch of elemental imperil down. Her high turn rate is always nice. I like that her EX is instant turn. It's a real nice thing to have instant turn moves. Her mechanic might be a little confusing to some people, but personally, I don't find too big of a problem with it. I mean, I hope it's not that complicated for me because I am going to be using Lock. I'm pretty sure Lock is way more complicated than Alisaie. As you can see, man, this boss is hurting. This boss is in pain. It's falling and it can't get up. I actually feel bad for this boss, bro. This boss, bro, free my boss, man. They didn't deserve this. They got roped into this by the game developers. Like, you gotta be the boss of this tier without their consent, and they're just like, man, I don't want to do this, man. I just want to chill in my haunted house. They didn't ask for this, man. They didn't wake up one day and be like, yo, I want to be the punching bag to the Descendants Transcendence tier 7, man. Like, yes, unless they're sadists, I mean, we don't judge in this household. We gotta free my ghosts here, man. They're just trying to earn a living. They're just trying to feed their kids at home. Just trying to put food on the table. They didn't ask for all this. They're getting hit by meteors by my twins, and they're getting absolutely mollywopped at the moment. Oh my god, they're dead. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for their funeral, bro. Anyways, now that we have both tiers done, let's see what we can do for the Reckoning. So I'm gonna use Twins, Lilisette, and Y'shtola. I'll be honest, I really don't know how the boss works. I don't really know what I'm doing. All I know is how to take care of the orb, and that's why I have Y'shtola and Lilisette. On top of that, I have Lenna and Aiko calls. So if there's any point in time that I need to heal, I can always take care of that. I'd rather be safe than sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really care if I go overboard as long as I win, okay? So the game plan with my units is with Twins is pretty straightforward with Twins. With Y'shtola, I'm of course going to be abusing that EX mechanic because that her EX is fantastic, I swear to god. Lilisette, my main game plan is to spam her LD because her LD heals and healing takes care of the orb. Also, Lenna call, that Windrake arrow is always really nice because of that debuff immunity. Not trying to get my units debuffed. I don't care what the debuff is. I just don't want to see that red above my goddamn units, okay? I'm gonna use Jack Call because Jack Call is one of the best calls in the game. Don't at me. If it wasn't for Kurasame or Fran, Jack would be the best call in the game. Absolutely. We're gonna set up that BT attack for Twins. Like I said, guys, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just brute forcing it and then playing it by ear. I don't go researching into compendium on how to take care of these bosses. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're gonna use the Kurasame call to get that enchant. I'm gonna use the EX. Her EX is still fantastic, man. Still one of the best in the game. If it weren't for Garnet, Y'shtola would be much more used. She was hella abused for me back when I got her BT and greened her. You know what? I take it back. I don't regret benching her. She's already done so freaking much. She's been at work. She's been working hard. It's time to retire. All right, it's time to let someone else take the reins. Maybe until Y'shtola's FR comes out. I don't know when that's coming or even if that's coming. But if that does come out, she can get her shine again. But until then, she gotta take a break. She's been working too hard. As far as I've seen, the boss hasn't been too crazy. Of course, I'm not expecting tier 6 Reckoning type of boss fight. God forbid. This isn't as crazy as I was expecting it to be. Now, with my game plan of twins, normally what I like to do is I set up the BT attack first, just to get that BT, just to get their BT effect going. I throw in one Mega Flare before I go into the BT phase, because if you do a Mega Flare, they end up having a free turn, and if you go into the BT phase with a free turn, that means they'll have enough skills to last throughout the entire phase, and you won't end up having to use a 1 HP attack just to fill in the last turn. That's always annoying to me. If I can help with it, I would rather go into my BT phases with free skills to where I'm not running out. See, and as you can see with the last turn, we're ending off with the EX. It does the least amount of damage out of all their skills, so that's why I use it last, on top of the fact that their BT effect is gone by now. Yeah, my game plan with twins is pretty straightforward. Just BT effect, LD, BT phase, and then spam LD. That's pretty much my game plan with twins. I still really like them, man. We're almost about done. We're around less than 40. We're gonna use that EX. Her EX also does a lot of damage, that's why I'm using it. I'm gonna find any reason I can to use Lilisette, man, because I pitied her LD. Don't ask me why I pitied her LD, I just did. I don't even know who she is, man. I don't even know who she is. All I know is she looks cool, and I pulled her out of a whim. I pulled her out of a whim in the Garnet banner, and I wasn't getting anything, and I was getting really frustrated, so I was like, F it, I'm doing gems, and then I end up pitying. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes that just happens. Listen, as long as I don't have to pity a BT, that's all I'm saying. I'm not going to complain too much, as long as I don't have to pity a BT. Knock on wood. Let me know how you guys feel about this type of commentary. I'm kind of just going off script. I'm just talking out of my ass while I'm playing this fight. Would you prefer if I kept talking like this, or if you prefer no talking? I know people who are more serious about the game prefer to just watch videos without any commentary, because they could be annoying, and granted, I can be kind of annoying when I talk too much, but I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. We're almost done with this fight anyway. I imagine for Lufenia fights that are a lot more difficult, I would be talking less. I saw an effect for the boss that said defense up. I didn't really see any drop to my damage. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but again, I don't really focus on the nitty-gritties of boss mechanics. I just brute force everything if I can, and if I can help it, I go no strategy. I just go all in. Fortunately, twins can do that. Well, we are doing 175 instead of 180, but that difference is pretty negligible at this point. It's still a lot of damage. There's the EX just to get that buff, just to refresh that regen buff, and to take care of the orb. We're almost about done. Use a boost up, and we're gonna spam that LD just to get that heal up and to boost the orb even more. Oh wait, no, 10's the max, I'm assuming. I'm stupid. But we're almost done. 13 turns, not too shabby, not too shabby. I like that. And we got to save Machina, Garnet, and a whole bunch of other units that I could use on later tiers. How'd you guys feel about this fight? Was it too stressful for you? Was it hard? Was it easy? Did you enjoy this fight? Was it challenging enough to where it's fun? Let me know in the comments below. This fight was pretty enjoyable. Yeah, it wasn't a complete wash, but it was difficult enough to where I'm having to put some sort of thought into my team building. All right, so we have another turn. Magic Scythe, not too crazy. Fine, you can debuff me. You're literally at 2% health. I'm not too worried. Well, let me know if you guys remember whenever you were fighting the regular Lufenia fights and they get down to less than 10% health, and then they end up never dying. You end up spending like 20 turn counts to kill them, or sometimes, God forbid, you don't even kill them. You end up losing to the orb at frickin' 1%, and then you end up having to do the entire fight over again. I've been there. I've been there hundreds of times. Not hundreds of times, but I've been there loads of times. So I know the pain. Thankfully, in Lufenia Plus, that isn't too much of an issue anymore. But, ooh, I still remember it like it was yesterday. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the fight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any comments down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all later.